Hey guys, what's up? This is Erin's Beauty Minute and I'm Erin. You're probably gonna hear my dog because he's being a little brat today. But this video is gonna be about rediscovering makeup we already own, and this one's gonna be eyeshadow edition. Cause again, I'm one of those people, I say again, I haven't said it in this video, but I tend to almost tell myself, oh, I need to get, the most recent thing, or, sorry, I'm petting my dog at the same time. Like I have to get what's relevant, what's current, what's, what is going on right now. And that's not actually true. I can achieve a lot of those same looks with stuff I already own, as I'm sure you can too. Sorry if I sound like I have a cold. I do. We're getting over it, but I do have a cold. This little boy down here is just being a little brat. But, I organized my eyeshadow drawer. And, there's a lot in here. And there's individual shadows, there's all kinds of stuff, but it's a big drawer. And I understand it's not as big as some other people's drawers, but it's my drawer and it's a little big. We're just gonna kind of go into each palette and just sort of talk about it, as well as the individual shadows, but we'll start with the individual shadows. I have a lot of e.l.f. and a lot of ColourPop. I have a little bit of other brands here and there that I've bought through Target or sometimes Walmart. Sometimes. I've had to learn how to really spot the ones that people were rude and swatched and messed with. It bugs the crap out of me when I see that, when I see people doing that, and I'm like, if you want to try out the product, buy the product, keep the receipt, and if you don't like it, you can take it back and get either an exchange or a return. You do not need to ruin it for somebody else who might be there and just wanting to get the product. Not a used one. So, just saying, it drives me a little crazy sometimes, but, I told you already about the bad experience that I had in that one store in the mall. Told you about that. So, yeah. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get into these individual shadows here. So, the first one that is here is an e.l.f. Baked individual shadow. It looks like this, very nice and pinky, and it is called Pixie. And, you'll see that not a whole lot's been taken off, but, or at least it doesn't appear that way. I actually do use this frequently, so it's a very good shadow. I'll go ahead and see if I can, I'll swatch some of this stuff for you guys. So you just rub-a-dub-dub off of there, and then you can't really see it too much, but it's this, oh yeah, you can, okay. I swear I'm not flipping you guys off, I'm sorry. So that's the shade. Now you can build it up, so if that was the first layer, you can really go in on it, onto your finger, and just add more to it, and it just builds a little bit. It is a nice, sort of shimmery color, but it goes on kind of creamy. So that one's really nice. I use this when I'm not using a palette with other pinky tones in it. So that's a fun thing about that one. This one is a ColourPop shadow, and it's called Envy. So it's one of their Super Shock shadows. And this one is a black metallic. It has purple flakes in it. And if you are familiar with how to apply ColourPop shadows that are like the Super Shocks, then you know that little goes a long way. I will go ahead and just swatch that a little bit. So a little bit, you barely have to touch it, goes on your hand. And it's a nice sort of black with a purplish tint. Always make sure to put your caps back on. I mean, I have a lot of different individuals, color pops that are in here. And I mean, it's just, I have those, I have quads, but I want to get more into the actual like palettes that I own, so we can go into those individuals later if you guys would like to do that. I don't mind doing a second video for you on that. But we're not going to really go over the quads yet. I will go over the quads. I think I'm going to do a part 2 of this video because there is so much eyeshadow and I want to give these all the color pops and individual shadows their own little moment. So I will go ahead and do that. Sorry, I'm like literally moving things around. So as far as palettes go, this is the Blushed Nudes, and this is actually the second one that I've owned because the first time I bought it I was like, this is a total ripoff. I had to realize how to use this one, and once I did, it was actually really pretty. Now you do have mostly shimmers up top and mostly the shadows down here. You know, I'm not one that typically uses the spraying your brush method, but I mean, hey, if that works for you and gives you a color payoff with this, then that's great. I tend to use more of a rosy type of application, so there's a lot more of the pinks getting used, and even the gold here has been used. And, you know, you can build a very decent look out of it. You know, and these were being compared to the Naked 3 by Urban Decay. That's the Blush Nudes palette for them. This was supposed to be like a comparison one, and I picked it up honestly because it said that. But it's, you know, not that I've used the Naked 3, but I could pretty much tell you, you know, this is one of those things. It was like $7, $8. It wasn't that expensive, and you know, it's worked out. It's worked out pretty well. Now I do have the CoverGirl True Naked Roses palette, and I will say they've taken off the sticker that was saying that it was basically like the Naked 3, but in a teeny container. They got in trouble for that, so they removed the sticker. But this is the Roses palette, and you have some shimmers over here, some definite shadows right here, and this one right here. I mean, you can use that, smoke out your crease. These ones you can do that as well. I've gotten into doing the smoky eye, but I haven't, you know, just full on like done something incredibly different with it. You can make a complete look out of this, so you don't actually need to go with another palette if you don't want to. Obviously, if you want to, it's your palette, that's your thing, then go ahead and do that. But you can make looks, individual looks, and that is more than one. You can do those with this palette, definitely. Now, there are, when I did my Wet n Wild Hits and Misses, I purchased both of these lovely palettes here, and this one is called Petal Pusher. It's really, really pretty, and you can, again, make various looks out of this. And yes, it has written down where, like, they would intend for you to put the shadows, and I'm just like, psh, girl, I'm gonna do whatever I'm gonna do. So, all of these are shimmers, but they have a lot of pigment. So definitely, you know, be aware of that you can really make a very nice, you can make various looks out of all of these. It's just whatever you imagine in your head. Try it out. If you like it, that's fine. If you don't, that's okay too. And this one is the bold coloring, and it's called Poster Child. It's very bold colors, and they also are shimmery. Now, as with most drugstore eyeshadows, it has a coating on the top to where you're not getting a lot of color payoff. But once that coating is gone, you're getting tons of color payoff, and you can do a lot with this. I mean, you can really do so much with it. Now we're kind of getting into the e.l.f. situation. This palette itself, this is the Prism eyeshadow in Sunset. It seems like e.l.f. must have discontinued this one, which I think was a big mistake, but I think they discontinued it to where it's just the nude version that you can get. But the one that I have, it has various shimmers and pinky rosy tones in it, and you know, they're really nice. And again, I mean, like with all of these, you can make very different looks out of this. I'm not really going to go into what looks you can make out of this because it's not available anymore, and I don't think that's fair to you guys if I just like start talking about it. Because it's just, you can't get it, so I don't want to be there and kind of being like a jerk and swatching that and going, oh, look at all these different things you can do with it, and you can't buy it anymore. That's not okay. So, yeah. This next e.l.f. palette, the container's thicker, you know, the packaging's thicker, and this is in the set of California. So, I mean, that's fitting because that's where I live. You get 10 baked eyeshadows, and, you know, most of them are fairly nude. Except for that guy right there. That guy's like a lavendery kind of color. And basically, I mean, I'll swatch that one for you. Hold on. Get a little bit there, and it does not, like, you should rub these with your finger. And, you know, there isn't a whole lot of payoff right there. You know, so do, you know, realize that this is more of a goldy shade here. Oh, well, that one's pigmented. So you get to see more of a gold shade. I'm sorry, my swatches are crap. But this is what it looks like, and you can do various goldy shades. Again, you can go into that purple. There's a gray, like a silver gray over here. All of them are shimmers, none of them are mattes. And you can just go nuts with this. And it is a California palette, so it is very expressive, I guess, in a way. Like most Californians are. We're expressive. The next one that we'll go into is the Everyday Smoky palette. And by the way, these palettes that I'm talking about by e.l.f., they're only $10 online. Some of them you can find in Target for $6, but these palettes are only $10. So you get a lot for not having to take very much. So this is the Everyday Smoky palette, and you really do. You get to go from the lightest to the darkest. You don't have to do a smoky eye with this if you want to. You can do whatever. And you do get 10 shades in every palette that's set up like this. They always go from light to dark. And, you know, you can do various things with it that, you know, you see like a lot of high-end looks. You can do the same thing with this. So don't feel like you have to go out and get the latest high-end palette when you really don't. It just, you don't have to. You don't have to do that. And, you know, especially with this one right here that I'm going to show you, it's called Need It Nude. And I'm going to hold it a certain way because some of the pans are not secure. Like, do you see these browns and these gold and all of that? I mean, guys, that's a lot. And it's gorgeous. I've used this many times, even though it doesn't look like it. I have used it many times. My favorite shades are those gold shades. I do love the browns, especially when I'm trying to smoke out my eye. And, you know, they're really, really good. And you can do so many different things. Again, 10 bucks, very affordable. And you can achieve looks that you see on high end, and you don't have to spend that much money. Now, this one right here is the second edition in the Mad for Matte series. I've used this quite a bit, even though it doesn't look like it. But, dude, do you see what I see? These are gorgeous. I love them so much. They're incredibly pigmented. You know, as a transition, I tend to go to that shade, so I'll just swatch that for you right now on my hand. I mean, it goes off, and it's just, you see how strong that is? Like, I can do this and double it up a little bit to build it up, but that's a beautiful shade. Like this one, I mean, I love that one as well. And it has more of a peachy aspect to it. You know, and then dive into that red color. Like, just go nuts. Because they're gorgeous. And there's this purple shade here. It's very pigmented. And, I mean, it's just, you can do so much with this. So, do be aware of that. I will be right back in just a second because my camera's gonna do something stupid. Okay, sorry about that. I had to go check something really fast. But this one right here, this one is the original Mad for Matte. And again, we're kind of presented with a almost nude palette. But again, you can do so many. I'm like, I am amazed at how much we can actually do with this. You know, I mean, we can just swatch all day long. I mean, there's so many good things in here. And, you know, I like a little bit of shimmer in my life. But I use these very often, and they're really, really pretty. They go on smoothly, they're very creamy. Wiping the swatches off my hand. Yeah. I mean, these are amazing shadows, and they really deserve kind of their own moment. I mean, that's just the way that goes. Now, this one is my favorite palette that I own. I literally own 2 backups. Because I was like, girl, there's $6 at Target buying 2 when this was $10 online. And when I got it, it was brand new. So this is the Nude Rose Gold palette. Oh my goodness. Like, I love these shadows. And I'm bringing them a little closer so you can see. This is comparable to the Naked 3, and I have done so many looks with this. I mean, I'm about to hit pan on a good majority of them just because I use them so often. And I mean, I love taking that shade and just smoking out the eye. I love using these like as transition shades. I love this palette so much. I love it so much, and I always get my favorite looks out of this one right here. It's just unbelievable. It's, oh, I love it so much. Now, I didn't realize until I was really organizing my eyeshadow drawer that I have a lot of like natural palettes. I really didn't realize that until I started doing this. Let's just talk about this for a minute. And it is discontinued. Don't know why she did this, but whatever, she discontinued it. So the NYC New York Color had teamed up with Demi Lovato, and they came out with the Lovatics by Demi, and this is in the set Natural, and on the back it gives you different ideas of looks you could do if you wanted to. But ultimately I've just done my own thing with it. So you can see that I'm about to hit pan on several of these. You know, things go on pretty well. You can make a smoky eye if you really wanted to. With everything you can make a smoky eye. I mean, it's really just, you can. I ended up buying a backup of this because I was not sure. You know, there was a rumor going around that it was going to get discontinued, and I was like, no! So I bought myself a backup, and what do you know? It got discontinued. So, that's literally all of what I have for this one. Yeah, so, it sucks, but oh well. So now we're going to go into some color pops. So this set is from their Pink Spring collection, and it's known as Belle of the Ball. It tells you what each one is named on this part when they should have put it on this part so that you would have it, but oh well. So you get this lovely little palette here, and it is a magnet, so it goes up, and you get to see the shadows. So I'm going to move these individuals sort of down so they're not like up in everybody's business. So you do, I'm going to be careful, you do get 4 actual shadows in the palette, and then you get 3 individuals. And again, you can make several different looks out of it. I haven't made too many as of yet, but, you know, as I continue to do things, I dip into maybe a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You guys know that I'm moving toward doing that, like really showing you different combinations, because you can combine palettes and make a really cool look out of it. I mean, that's what I'm discovering with my stuff. So I'm like, oh, so I'm not compacted to just one look. Okay. This one is another eyeshadow setup. It is called Blow Me Away. This is from ColourPop Spring Collection. This is the Nectar edition. And just like the other one, it has the names of the 4 shadows that are actually in the palette itself. You take that off, same idea as the pink one was, and again, same idea, you get 4 in the actual palette, plus 2 individuals instead of 3, and again, you can do a few different looks with that one, but you are pretty limited to being orange if this is all you're going for. So, I mean, I would recommend like a dark shadow from another palette in the crease, or just doing something a little different with it instead of just being orange. But if you like that particular way of doing things, that's completely your thing. Go you. This next one is a NYX Dreamcatcher palette, Dusk Till Dawn. And basically, it looks like this. So they're almost set up like they were a baked shadow. They're not. They're not baked shadows at all. They do still go on better with your finger at best to the eyelid. Make sure to put some eyeshadow primer on because that actually really helps too. You know, you've got your darks, your lights, your golds, your smokiness. You've got a cream shade here. You've got like maybe 2 cream shades. And if you're in a pinch for a mirror, this actually moves. So you take this side and you just pop it. And I want to make sure the applicator, then you have a mirror there. And you also have an applicator in there, that like little sponge tip applicator. Again, you can mix these with other palettes, and I would recommend, you know, if you want to go into that pink from ColourPop, add some of this and you can really make a good look. You can even go into the Wet n Wild Poster Child. You can go into the Rose Gold palette by e.l.f. You can go in a lot of different ways and make a lot of good looks out of this. Like, you're not limited. You're only limited by your imagination. At least that's what people say. I don't think that's true. But, yeah. Anyway. So, the next palette is a Wet n Wild. And, I mean, I bought this because I was like, oh my gosh, purple, black, glitter, ah! And, I mean, I don't reach for it that much. I'm just gonna be honest with you. And it hasn't really made me excited about anything. Like, yeah, if I need a dark, smoky shade on, you know, fast, I can go in here and do that. But outside of that, I mean, sometimes I use the purples that are in there, but I don't know. And, like, what were these two supposed to be doing? You know, like, they're just kind of there and don't match what the rest of this anyway. I don't know. But you can go, like, oh, individual shade here, da-da-da-da. You can do that. Now, you guys saw in my last video that hopefully will be completely done uploading by the time I have this done. That would be awesome because it is uploading right now. Anyway, in that last video that is uploading right now, you saw me use these puppies. The Nude La Palette and the La Palette Nude Intense. I'm saying La Palette. If I'm not saying it right, feel free to tell me that, because yeah, it just says La Palette to me. But you got to see there is a mirror up here, and you got to see these really pretty colors, and you know, again, they were pricey. These were like 16 bucks a palette. Yikes. And that's a bit much for drugstore. And you know, but they're nice palettes. I mean, they're not my favorite, but they're not bad. You know, this is the intense one. I mean, if you want to call that intense, that's entirely up to you, but you know, you can get really good shades out of it too, and good looks out of it. If you want to use it individually, I combined them, and you can actually see that on my eyes right now. Again, 16 bucks. Go for an e.l.f. shadow. Shadow palette. There's plenty of nude palettes from them. There's the Rose Gold palette if you really want to get this different look. Yeah, just go with the Rose Gold and like one of their nude palettes. Like, you can't really go wrong with e.l.f. And I'm saying that because I'm not saying that because it's sponsored, because it's not. Nothing I do is sponsored. So that's just my honest opinion. e.l.f. I showed you some really amazing palettes from e.l.f. and I love them so much. And, you know, my other palettes that I have, they're great too in their own respect. But at the end of the day, my heart still goes to e.l.f. I mean, I use their skincare, which is amazing, by the way. And I'm gonna have a new thing to review pretty soon here. So yeah, that's really it. I just kind of want to show you guys what I have, my collection, and if you guys want to swatch, I can go ahead and do that on my Snapchat. I can, you know, pick any palette that you really would like to see swatched, and I can swatch those on my Snapchat. Because we hold that little button down now and suddenly we get a video instead of just having to take a picture or something and put the little tagline there. So anyway, that's what I have right now. There are individual shadows here, but I don't want to keep you waiting too long. So definitely go ahead and head back to my new video that's going to be up hopefully soon. And then I will get this one up. So if you liked what you saw and you want to see more, hit that subscribe button and click on the bell that's right next to it. That means that you will get notifications whenever I post a new video, anytime I post a new video. And you know, I just hope you enjoyed your time here. I hope you thought it was somewhat informative, and I know that I appreciate everything that I have in here, and that I am far from done with any of them, and that I don't need anything new to give you something new, you know? So I'm really happy about that. I will leave all my social media usernames down below in the description box. I'll also put my P.O. box. If there's something you want me to try, send it on over and I'll try it. So thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are. Thanks, guys. Bye.